Hi everyone, as you can see I'm filming in a new location today. I've actually managed to set up the camera so that you can see my bookshelf. This is my Christian fiction books along here. These are the ones I haven't read yet. Down here are the ones I have read. According to Goodreads, I've read 13 books, but that actually includes one novella and one short story, so I'm kind of behind in my head with my reading goals this year. I should be on 12, but I'm hoping to make them up throughout the rest of the year. Today I'm going to be filming the mid-year book freakout tag. I'm not sure who first posted this tag, but the last time I saw it I think was on Heather's channel Bookables. So maybe I'll link to that video below. That's just a general fiction channel. So the first question is, what is the best book you've read so far in 2019? So this year I've had a pretty good reading year. Most of the books that I've read have been either 4 or 5 stars. The ones that I've given 5 stars to are The Mark of the Raven and The Flight of the Raven by Morgan L. Bussey. That's a Christian fantasy series. The Masterpiece by Francine Rivers. This one is a contemporary romance. Murder at the Flamingo by Rachel Macmillan, which I would say is more of a Christian-friendly murder mystery set in the 1930s. Dear Mr. Knightley by Catherine Ray, which is a contemporary romance. The Secrets of Paper and Ink by Lindsay Harrell, which is a dual time period, contemporary and historical book. And Far Side of the Sea by Kate Breslin, which is a historical romance set in World War I. Question number 2. What is the best sequel that you've read in 2019? The best sequel that I've read is Flight of the Raven by Morgan L. Bussey. This continues the story of Celine Ravenwood, who has a gift that she can walk into other people's dreams and control their fears and desires. This was a really good continuation of the story. I'm really interested to see what's going to happen in the 3rd book, which comes out next year, I think. It is a fantasy, but I would say that anyone who likes historical novels would also really like this one. It's not such a big jump to read this if you're used to reading historical novels. Question 3. What new release haven't you read yet that you'd like to? And there's quite a few new releases up here that I'd like to read. So what have I got? Amanda Dykes, Whose Waves These Are. Castle on the Rise by Christy Cameron. The Printed Letter Bookshop by Catherine Ray. The Number of Love by Rosanna White. I think that's all my new releases. I've got several backlist books that I'd really like to read as well. Question 4. What is your most anticipated release for the second half of the year? I've got 3 new releases that are coming out that I want to highlight. One is The Painted Castle by Christy Cameron. Secondly, The End of the Magi by Patrick W. Carr. It's obviously going to be to do with the Magi, as in the 3 Kings, Christmas story and the history behind it. I think Daniel and the group of prophets that he left in Babylon. So I think that's going to be really an interesting biblical historical book. And the 3rd one is The Piper's Pursuit by Melanie Dickerson, which I read The Warrior Maiden, her book that came out earlier this year, and the next one's coming out in the USA, I think in December, but probably in January for me. Question 5. What was your biggest disappointment? I've been really good at picking books this year. I think almost all of the books that I've read I've loved. So my biggest disappointment really has been that I haven't managed to read as many as I wanted to. I've still got quite a lot of books on here that I need to read, and there are some coming out that I'd really like to buy as well. And if you saw my ebook TBR, you'd see there's a huge number on there as well, because I've just been buying books for like 50p when they've been reduced. So yeah, that's my disappointment. Question 6, what was your biggest surprise? I would say my biggest surprise was how much I've enjoyed reading historical fiction. It's not a genre that I've read a lot of in non-Christian kind of general fiction, so I wasn't expecting to like it quite as much, but there have been some really good books that I've read, like Far Side of the Sea, and then some of the dual narrative books, The Lost Castle by Christy Cambron, Secrets of Paper and Ink, Murder at the Flamingo. Those are all time periods that I've really loved. I'm still not really into American history, like Pilgrim Fathers and that kind of thing. Not sure about Civil War, but I've got much more into European history, and I'm looking forward to reading some more of those in the future. Question 7, who is your favourite new author, debut or new to you? Now, actually, because I haven't been reading a lot of Christian fiction in the past, pretty much all of these authors are new to me this year. So I'm going to pick out the one that is a debut author, I think, and that's Amanda Dykes. Now, I haven't read her book yet, but I did read her novella Up From the Sea, and I really enjoyed that one. So hopefully I'm going to get to this one pretty soon. Question 8, who is your newest fictional crush? I think I'm probably a little bit old for having a crush on anybody, and especially not on characters in books, but the person that I really enjoyed, well, actually two people that I really enjoyed are Hamish from Murder at the Flamingo and Colin from Far Side of the Sea. Both of those characters have, they're real gentlemen. They really take care of the women that they're with, but they also have, both of them have disabilities. Colin has lost a hand in the First World War, and Hamish is dealing with anxiety attacks. And I really like to see the combination of their strengths with their weaknesses together. Yeah, they make them really interesting characters. Question 9, who is your newest favourite character? Normally my favourite character is the one that I've just been reading about, the person that I've just come out of their headspace. So I'm going to say Jo from Far Side of the Sea. She's a really feisty, plucky kind of woman who is really fun to read. Question 10, which book made you cry? I'm going to say Flight of the Raven by Morgan L. Bussey. I'm not going to tell you anything about this book because it's a second book and it would be total spoilers. But it also made me really happy as well. So, it's not particularly a sad book, but you get the feels from it, definitely. And talking about making you happy, question 11, which book made you happy? I'm going to say for this one, Brunch at Bittersweet Cafe by Carla Laureano. This is a feel-good contemporary romance. The main character, Melody, is fun to read. And yeah, who wouldn't be happy with macarons? Question 12, which is the most beautiful book that you've bought recently? This might tell you a lot about my personality, but I am torn between the pretty pink cover of Secrets of Paper and Ink by Lindsay Harrell and the feisty, ornate cover of The Warrior Maiden by Melanie Dickinson. That's just really beautiful. Both of those are awesome covers. Question 13, which books do you need to read by the end of the year? I've mentioned some of the new releases that I want to read, but from the back catalogue books that I've got, I would like to read True to You by Becky Wade, The Healer's Apprentice by Melanie Dickinson, The Story Peddler by Lindsay A. Franklin, and The Austin Escape by Catherine Ray. I've got quite a few other books on my TBR, but I'm not sure which ones I'm going to get to or which new releases coming out that I'm going to buy. It really depends on how much energy and time and probably money that I have for the rest of the year. So that's all the questions that I have. If you've actually got any more questions you want to ask me, please do so in the comments down below. And if you've taken part in this book tag, then let me know as well so that I can go and watch what you've got to say. Alright, I'll see you again next time. Bye!